Give me one more day, just one more day. Come rock and roll me all over for just one more day.
Hi, welcome to Have You Heard? We have another show from Tupelo Music Hall in White River Junction. Back in August, Professor Louis and Miss Marie played with Guy Davis at Tupelo, and tonight they're back with the rest of their own band, the Crowmatix.
One more day, just one more day. Come rock and roll me all over for just one more day. Give me one more day, just one more day. Come rock and roll me all over for just one more day. Just one more you done.
Now look what 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 you done.
You left me here, the lonely one. All I can say, baby, look what you done. A broken heart, a worried mind. Cry for your darling, baby, all the time. I once had a dream, but now I have none. You're taking your love and see what it does. The nightbird cries, shadows fall, blues are memories, and I recall your love in my life, as warm as the sun, but now it is gone. Look what you've done. I saw you last night. You were moving around with your new toy, just painting the town. But it is okay. Keep having your fun, because someday you'll pay for all you done. I said, now look what you done.
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 You left me here, the lonely one. All I can say, look what you done. You left me with a broken heart, a worried mind. Baby, baby, you left me crying. Look what you done to me now. Baby, baby. You give me the blues, baby. Don't know what I'll do, baby. I see that nightbird. I see it fly. Those blues all around me. Baby, baby, look what you done. Look what you done. Look what you done now.
Now look what you done. Now look what you done. Now look what you done. Now look what you done.
You left me here, the lonely one. All I can say, look what you've done, baby.
We have a new CD out called Wings on Fire, and it opens up with a tune that's also co-written with our buddy from Donegal in Dublin, Kevin Doherty. And it's about a great pub in Ireland, and there's plenty of them around here, and the description of all the different people in them. This is a tune called Down at the County. Some say they enjoy it, some would like to destroy it, but none of them can avoid it. They don't know how to walk away. There's Jimmy band. The jukebox is playing country and Irish songs. The night is glowing through the glass. We all know these things will pass. And nothing can last too long. Now there's a man from the hometown, 20 years in the same ground. He loves to kick the man when he's down, and then walk away. From Donegal to Brooklyn, oh, there's so many of them, and they all got their problems. They take it to one place. It's all down at the county, drinking down at the county. You don't believe what I say, then go right away to the county. It's all down at the county, hanging down at the county. You don't believe what I say, go right away to the county. Come on, Josh, take us out there.
The Crowmatix started maybe 12 years ago or 13 years ago when I was doing productions and co-producing the group of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame group of the band. And I needed to put together the best group of musicians from the Woodstock area together, and there was a great group there called the Crows. And it later morphed into the Crowmatix, and we went on our own in the year 2000. I put together the group originally to be a great recording band to make demos and have ideas for songs that I was producing for the band, which ended up to be 3 CDs for the band, Jericho, High in the Hog, and Jubilation, and many other odd recordings or, you know, offshoot recordings. So the Crowmatix started coming into focus at that time, and when the individual members of the band, like Rick Danko, wanted to go out and play a show, he would want to have the Crowmatix come play behind him, and Levon would do the same. And around 2001, the Crowmatix went out on their own. And since then, we've been building up more and more shows. The repertoire is getting better and better. The musicianship has been getting better and better. Josh Collo was the last member to join about 5 years ago, the guitarist. Josh Collo, and it's been that steady band. Frank Campbell on bass. Gary Burke on drums, Miss Marie on vocals and piano.
I've been in the Crowmatix from the beginning, and Louie and I have been performing together for many years. We met in New York City, and we had a lot of different groups together, and then over the years moved up to the Woodstock area. I started singing with the band on some CDs and in live shows when Louie was, you know, coordinating all the events, and I've been with the Crowmatix ever since.
I got into the Crowmatix shortly after I moved back from Austin, Texas, moved back to Woodstock. And Louis, the bass player, who I believe was the original bass player of the Crowmatix, decided to leave for a number of reasons. And Louis found out that I was back in town, and he called me up and said, "Looking for a bass player, can you help us out?" So it was a good opportunity, and I liked the material, and liked the people, and you know, to me, being with these people is a very good thing. It's been good developmentally, educationally, but just good to hang out, you know.
The actual moment that I found out about the Crowmatix, although I'd heard about all the players, and I was in a music shop and I needed to get some strings, and which isn't a very exciting fact. But there was the guitar player, who was a great guitar player, who was a friend of mine who I went to high school with, named Mike D'Amico. He was going on to, I guess he was going to work with the Brubeck brothers,
Yeah.
and he's kind of a jazz. He's a really great jazz guitar player, and he said that would I be interested in talking to? He mentioned that the Crowmatix were looking for a guitar player, so I got a hold of Crowmatix, and then they got a hold of me.
The blues leads to places like Atlantic City and places like that, right around the corner. And I'd like to do something for you. We'd like to do something for you right now, which I had a chance to produce a record that did very well. And it was a real honor to do it. And it's a tune called Atlantic City. Down on the boardwalk, they were ready for a fight. the one thing about the Crowmatix that is extremely important is that we have developed something together by playing out so much that you just can't get by rehearsing or putting a throw together band together, or if somebody writes and says, okay, let's get everybody to learn your material. This is something that has evolved completely from playing in front of a live audience. And that's really special that you just can't get. There's no way to get that without doing that. And the only way to do that is to do that for 10 years together on the road. So we're fortunate enough that all of us get along, and we never have band meetings, and we don't necessarily rehearse, which helps that a lot.
Good. It's also nice to be together and formulate our own music too. You know, when you're a side person, I don't like the word side really, but when you're playing with other great musicians, you're playing their music, you're playing what they want you to play, or you're trying to fit in. Whereas when you're doing your own thing, you can really let go, you can really get into the music. And, you know, when you're really performing your own show, you can really do what you want to do. And it's a lot of fun.
Miss Marie does a lot of writing. The last CD we just put out, the Wings on Fire CD, has about, I think, maybe 10 original pieces out of 13. And Josh Kahlo helped write one or two in there. And Marie wrote a bunch, I wrote a bunch. And it's a really collaborative writing process, because what we'll do is I may have an idea and we'll get in the studio and then put it together.
Yeah, and all the musicians get together and do their own parts and really enhance the tunes as we work on them. You know, you start out with an idea and you never know how it's going to end up.
Try to remember to keep your cool with an open hand, an open heart. Lost your way in the night, look around, try to find your sight with an open hand, an open heart. Open up your head. Reach for the top, start all over again with an open hand, an open heart. Lost your way in the night, look around, try to find your sight with an open hand, an open heart. Feeling lost and close to the end. Look around, try to find the end with an open hand, an open heart. You got the right to tell the secrets out, it's clear as a bell with an open hand, an open heart. Open up your soul in the dark. dark. Bring light to a soul in the dark. Bring light to a soul in the dark.
We have many different styles that we're comfortable with. Everything from Zydeco to blues to R&B. That keeps everything really exciting, you know? The music is never dull. We do improvise, not to the point of being like Ornette Coleman, but everybody, you know, we leave room always for things to happen. And you know, it's great to, there are great singers in the band. So all these things make it just interesting and make it fun. And I like when music is a little bit unpredictable. That's one of my favorite things, is when you don't know exactly what's going to happen.
The band is very talented in the ability to adjust to those different environments and be able to still put it across with a lot of excitement.
Well, we'd like to bring a good friend of ours out to play a little bit with us, if we can. Pitts, you ready back there? Yes. A nice Vermont native, as you can see. But anyway, Pitts and I have been friends for years, and one good thing about traveling around so much, you get to meet so many different types of people and musicians. And Pitts and I have been playing for years together down in Maryland, down in Common Ground, one or 2 weeks a year, where a lot of different musicians, world musicians, and all kinds of musicians gathered to do a lot of teaching and playing. So knowing that we were coming to Vermont, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to invite Pitts, because he's only about an hour and a half from here. So, you know, do a little playing with us and add some different colors to the group. So we'd like to do a tune. What is he playing there? What are you playing there, Pitts?
What is that thing? Didgeridoo.
A didgeridoo.
World's oldest musical instrument.
Like us.
Particular one, though.
Yeah, there we go. Nice looking instrument.
Look through the paper, it makes you want to cry. Nobody cares if the people live or die. And the dealer wants you thinking it's either black or white. Oh, thank God it's not that simple. In my secret life, in my secret life.
Miss Marie.
We have a nice website and.
You have to spell Crowmatix.
Yes, CROWMATIX.com, so it's www.thechromatics.com, or ProfessorLouis.com. You'll find us as soon as you get on the computer. If you put in Professor Louis or Professor Louis and the Chromatics, so the site will come up, and there's photos, there's information, schedule where we're playing, come out and check us out. That would be, it's nice, and you can really get an idea about, what we're all about if you get on the site and, see all the different things that we're doing. So, Crowmatix.com is a good place to find out some info about the band.